I'm Ben Davies, and this is the Clear Money Mindset. Welcome to the Clear Money Mindset Savings Snippets edition, providing you with help and tips to manage your money in a clear and intentional way. I'm your host and financial advisor, Ben Davies. At Davies Financial Sterling Mutuals, we want to provide you with meaningful tips to help you with your money. Well, in today's episode of Savings Snippets, I'm going to walk you through 5 common money mistakes that you might be making and look at some ways we can avoid them. Managing month-to-month cash flow is hard, especially now with things costing so much. So everything we can do to optimize our spending and make sure there's money there to put towards our goals is a big deal. So let's look at these mistakes, and hey, don't beat yourself up if you're making them. There's a reason we said 5 common money mistakes, because they happen to be common. So first one, subscription squeeze. Many of you probably have all sorts of subscriptions. I know we at the Davies House subscribe to a bunch, and from music to streaming, fitness, gaming, sports, shaving, there's all sorts of subscriptions you can pay monthly for, and many little expenses can eat up your monthly cash flow without even really realizing it. So what can we do about it? Well, first thing I would say you should do is list all your subscriptions, put them all on paper, go to your bank account, look at what came out every month, and look at each one. List them out, list their dollar amount. Evaluate those subscriptions to see, are some seasonal? I'll give you an example of this. We had a Sportsnet subscription, and once the Maple Leafs failed to make it past the second round of the playoffs, not only did I want to break my TV, but I was done with Sportsnet. So that's something you could look at to say, hey, we watch hockey, basketball, baseball during this time of the year, but I don't need it all the time. Different things like Disney Plus, all of those sorts of things, you know what they are. I don't have to tell you, but an idea you could use is look at the expenses that are seasonal and say, hey, we'll have this subscription through the wintertime because of XYZ. And then we're going to cycle through these subscriptions because once we've caught up on these shows, we find we don't use Disney Plus as much, or Stack TV, or whatever, you name it. And then look at that list and say, number one, again, what subscriptions do I have? Are they seasonal or not? Could I have them for a time or cycle them? And then the other thing I would look at is, do you have subscriptions you're not even using? So that one is a no-brainer. If you have subscriptions and you're looking at your family and you're saying, when's the last time we used X and we're paying $15 a month for this? That's a good indication you should probably get rid of it. So what I would do after you've listed them all, looked at the ones that could be cyclical or seasonal, and looked at the ones that you're not even using, keep the ones you use, cycle through others throughout the year, and try to make sure you're not burning cash flow on useless subscriptions that squeeze the life out of your monthly budget. Okay, so that's one, subscription squeeze. Second one, no goals, no gain. It's another common money mistake that many of us make, just not having a goal with our money. It's been said that the difference between a dream and a goal is a plan. This is true. Most people suffering from financial dissatisfaction have a lot of dreams, but no plan on how they will make those dreams reality. In other words, they have a lot of things they'd like to do, but they have no plan on how they're going to do them. So planning can be a lot more complex than this, but let's keep it simple for today. Start by asking yourself the question, what do I want to accomplish in the next 5 to 10 years that's going to take money to do? Write them down and write a timeline for each goal. Maybe you want to buy a new car in 5 years, or you want to purchase a rental property in 10 years, or you want to go on vacation in 2. Take those goals, take the timeline, divide the dollar amount you need to reach that goal by the number of years you want to accomplish it by, then divide that by 12, and that's going to give you the amount that you need to save each month to reach that goal. Now you're going to have to look through your budget and say, well, what can we do about it? You probably can't afford to save for all of those goals at once, but pick the most important one or a very attainable one and work it into the budget. And once you've accomplished it, move on to the next. And you'll find that if you are saving with intention and you're reaching these goals, that's going to give you the inspiration to really look at your budget and say, okay, we reached that goal. We can probably do another one. And we're finding some financial traction, some financial success. Let's keep this going. So again, subscription squeeze, no goals, no gain. Now, number 3, another common mistake that many people make with money is letting service bills run higher and higher. If you're like me, you've taken the amazing deal the cell phone or internet company offered you that was saving you a ton of money. But after a year or two, you keep getting your bill in the mail, and it seems like every month you get your TV bill or your cell phone bill, it's just going higher and higher. Many companies depend on you being too annoyed to call them and negotiate with them after the great deal you have has expired. And they also depend on you being far too annoyed to take your services elsewhere. But that extra money could go a long way towards your overall financial goals. Look, no one likes making these calls. No one likes being put on hold and then being thrown to the loyalty department to spar it out with some client services rep who is being paid to keep you and being paid to make sure you keep paying. But it could save you thousands of dollars over a long period of time. The other thing you could do if you're not getting anywhere with these companies' loyalty departments is search for a better deal. Take the time to look what other companies are offering, and it could be more than worth your while. And like I said before, doing this kind of thing every couple of years can save you thousands in the long run, and make sure you're not sitting there with your eye twitching when your bill comes in every month, but you don't have enough agency to go and do something about it. So again, recapping: subscription squeeze, no goals, no gain, letting service bills run higher and higher. And then number 4, financing the kitchen sink. Look, we live in a day and time where you can practically finance toilet paper on Amazon and spread it out over 3 easy payments. This stops us from asking the question, how much will this actually cost me? And it shifts our mind to, could I squeeze the monthly payment in over the next couple of months? And we live in a time where cash flow is eaten up in 1,000 tiny bites throughout the month. Look, we all want the shiny new thing that we see on Amazon or we see on the internet on our favorite shopping app or site. And marketers are smart. They've made it incredibly easy. It's one of the things that they're paid to do is take the pain away from you purchasing something. But if you're buying a bunch of little things and adding monthly payments, you're going to find yourself without money at the end of the month and in this constant cycle of having payments on things that you should have waited for and having no money left over at the end of the month. So let's stop financing the kitchen sink. Really think through what you need, really think through your wants, and maybe take the time to say, okay, instead of signing up for 3 easy payments over the next 3 months, I'm going to set aside this money over the next 3 months, and then I'm going to go out and buy that thing. All right, number 5, the last mistake we'll look at today: kicking tomorrow's you to the curb. This is a huge problem for all of us. We don't particularly love tomorrow's us. If given the option, we most often will choose to gratify today's us and tell tomorrow's us to fend for itself. Now, not only do we live in a time of really fine-tuned marketing that preys on all of your wants and weaknesses, we also live in a time where you can hit buy now so quick and then deal with the should I have bought this guilt later. We don't do too well in this environment because the bad decision is usually the easiest decision to make. So, a question to ask yourself before you hit buy now on that thing you maybe shouldn't get is, how is this going to affect tomorrow's me? A lot of the saving and the choices you make today affect you in 10 years from now. So here's what you should do. Maybe don't do this in the middle of the store because people might think you're weird and they might call to have you taken away. But sit there and have a discussion with you 10 years from now and ask yourself, is this going to rob tomorrow's me of financial freedom? And am I willing to do that so I can gratify the me today? You're going to find with money, a lot of winning with your cash flow from month to month is doing things that will help out you tomorrow instead of kicking tomorrow's you to the curb. So 5 common money mistakes that you might be making: subscription squeeze, no goals, no gain, letting your service bills run higher and higher, financing the kitchen sink, and kicking tomorrow's you to the curb. Well, don't beat yourself up if you are making a few of these mistakes. I'd encourage you to identify the mistakes you're making on this list and deal with them one at a time. Maybe pick the one that is causing you the most financial strain or stress and then move on to the next. Mindset in money is huge. So working on these 5 common mistakes will help you gain a clear money mindset and start gaining traction with your money. If you have some ways you have overcome some of these common mistakes, why don't you email us at office@daviesfinancial.ca. We would love to feature your story in an upcoming episode. So that's it. 5 common money mistakes you might be making. And the great news is these are all things you can change. So let's start fixing them now. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be taken as legal, financial, or professional advice. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and are for informational purposes only and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Sterling Mutuals, Inc. Mutual funds and ETFs provided through Sterling Mutuals, Inc. Commissions, trailing commissions, management fees, and expenses all may be associated with mutual fund investments. Please read the fund facts before investing. Mutual funds are not guaranteed, their values change frequently, and past performance may not be repeated.